All right, so we're going to talk about circles before we get into cylinders. So cylinders is what we're really going to get into, but we first got to talk a little bit about circles because circles make up the base of a cylinder. So as you see here, I have a circle, so let's talk about some certain parts of it. If you draw a line across, that is what is called the diameter. If I go just from the center of the circle out, which is in red, so it's really half of the diameter, that is called the radius. So the radius is halfway, the diameter goes all the way across. If I draw a line that does not go through the center of the circle, but it touches two sides, that is what we call a chord, C-H-O-R-D. So those are the three main parts of a circle you need to know. Actually, take it back. There is one more. The other one you want to know is called, let me change colors here, the outside. This is also the perimeter of the circle, which makes up the outside. That is also called the circumference. And circumference has a formula, and it is what we call diameter times pi, or circumference equals di pi. In other words, we will take the measurement of the diameter, which is this, and times it by the number pi, which is 3.14. So instead of this pi symbol, you always want to think of it as 3.14. The other formula we are going to use is to find the area, you take the letter pi, or the number pi, and times it by the radius. Whoops, what did I just do? The radius squared. Let me go ahead and cross that off. So pi times the radius squared will give you the area. These are the two very important formulas that we are going to refer to throughout this unit, as well as when we get into the volume of different prisms and cylinders and solids. So let's actually try finding the circumference and area. So for this one, it says find the area of a circle with a radius of 6. So if we take our formula, pi r squared, we're going to plug in what we know. We need the area, so we leave that in A. I'll do 3.14 times the radius, which is 6 squared. So now I just recopy 3.14. Because we do exponents first, we will do 6 squared. 6 squared is 6 times 6, which is 36. Then from there, we are going to multiply pi times 36. So the area would be 113.04 centimeters squared. So that is how you find it. Really got to pay attention when you're doing the squaring. It's not 6 times 2, it's 6 times 6, which gives you 36. Next one says find the area with a diameter of 8. So we're changing it up a little bit. We're using diameter. So area equals pi r squared. I'm going to plug in what I know. So I know 3.14 goes in for pi. The radius, though. So the radius we know is half of the diameter. So if the diameter is 8, half of this would be 4. So I'm going to use half of it, which is 4. Then that will be 3.14 times 16, because 4 squared is 16. Then we'll times those two together, and area is going to be 50.24 centimeters squared. So that is area. You got to make sure you're using the radius. So if you're given the diameter, you got to take half of it. And also when you square it, you times it by itself. Let's look at circumference. So for this one, it says circumference of a circle. So circumference equals diameter times pi. So that would be then C equals. Now the diameter I was not given. I was given the radius. But I know the radius is half the diameter. Therefore, my diameter, I will use 24. So now it's just diameter times the diameter times pi. So that would come out to be circumference equals 75.36 centimeters. And remember, circumference is nothing more than the perimeter, so it's just centimeters. There's no number 2 or number 3 next to it. It's not cubic, it's not squared. For our last one here, so we have to find a circumference with a diameter of 14. So that's easy because circumference equals di pi. So that would be then just 14 times 3.14, which you can use your calculator, comes out to be 43.96 centimeters. All right, if you got questions, let me know. Well, see you later. Bye.